Welcome to Half My Age, a weekly show in which a 25-year-old adult and a 50-year-old child help each other make sense of the world. You are being so cautious right now. I wonder if 2021 is like the year of a new overly cautious Mrs. Filholm. Right, we're turning off notifications. We're checking to be sure that the recorder is on. We're double checking to see that the recorder is recording in the right place. You seem very like you're walking through a checklist. Maybe it's because you've been spending a lot of time with a person who spends a lot of time with checklists.
That may be true, but it's also because I've been spending a lot of time, I think, applying for jobs and also building comedy shows. So I've just been, maybe that's it. Maybe I've just been attention to detail the past, few days. I don't know, Andrew. It seems just prudent to do that. So I always try to turn off my notifications, but Have you noticed that in applying to jobs, you're more detail oriented than you might other be? You're not leaving things on the counter and lighting them on fire? That's very funny, Andrew. Dude, it's just tedious work, It's just the tedium of going through with a little fine-tooth comb, as they say, which, by the way, is an idiom referring to lice on people's heads. Did you know that?
I had no idea that was about lice.
Also nitpicking. If you're going to be nitpicky, that is about picking lice out of people's heads.
Huh, so...
Mm-hmm. Just keeping it classy right away, Andrew.
So the lice pickers, they're known to be pedantic. They're known to be
yeah, I guess. No, I know that
think
because
that would be a skill that would be praised, right? If you can go and take the time to go through all of the individual hairs with the fine tooth comb, you think that would be a much sought after kind of
I suppose
prize.
The connotation of the term could have changed and evolved over the years, but that is something I have cause to know because not my children, but my friends' children, school children back in the day when people met in public and did things, would get lice. There'd be like lice outbreaks in the elementary school, and nothing makes a mother feel more hysterical than thinking that her children has lice. I mean, it's like it's a really horrible feeling for a mother. I mean, like
I bet
psychically freaks you out. And so then we had occasion to learn about things like, what? That's what going through things with a fine-tooth comb means. So anyway, just job applying is, every job you have to cater the cover letter to their exact terms. And I just applied for 2 jobs where I was able to use the exact same cover letter because it was 2 jobs at the same company. And that feels like I got away with something today. So I'm actually in a pretty good mood about that. Golly, it's just brutal. But it does feel like there are more positions opening and actively hiring. For the past month, holidays and whatnot, it just felt like nothing was happening. So we live in hope.
Yeah, I know that, things certainly slowed down over the holidays, but I stopped making calls on the economy and employment a long time ago. We've got people invading the Capitol and stocks are at all-time highs. I don't.
Yeah, right. It's a whole new garbage fire celebration in the world. Nobody knows anything. And on that note, I get to comedy
at all-time highs.
Comedy has opened back up a little bit in Denver. So tonight I have a show, and then in the next week I have 2 more shows and even more on the horizon. I know that feels great. Yeah, but that too, then it's like booking and working on making tickets. It's just I've just been in a mode of work. Well, I've been back making out with my computer again for the past few days, so that's probably why I was more aware than usual of notifications and whatnot.
You've been back making out with your computer. What does that mean? It's back in your hands or you're physically smooching it?
Well, no, I'm not doing that. That would be crazy. I don't like robots like that. No, I just mean there were days there when during shutdown and things, days during the past freaking 9 months, is it now, where I barely touched my machine, really, because it was like I couldn't stand it and I had to go out and dig in the garden or do sidewalk chalk. But lately, because the work demands it, I've just been spending hours a day at my laptop again. Happy to say it's functioning great. I have to go add Apple Care Plus, though, to this machine that they so kindly sent me. It's pretty great, man. It's pretty powerful. I do not love my new trackpad. I think that you showed me how to make some adjustments to it and need to go back. It's just also my nails are longer than they've ever been in my life. My natural nails.
Oh, I don't like that.
I don't either.
Not necessarily about you. I just don't like long nails myself. I
don't
that
either.
Feeling
it's driving me nuts.
They get away from you. You haven't clipped them in a week or two.
Well, mine's on purpose because I've been having nice manicures and they look gorgeous, but they've been growing out and staying strong and not breaking. But I hate it. I got to go have them cut down tomorrow. I can't stand it. No, I mean, like the sound of my nail on the trackpad. Ugh.
Yeah, I hate that. When I notice my nails when I'm typing, that's when I know it's gotten too bad to.
Me too.
It's untenable.
Untenable. I can't stand it. And it's also been, less gardening and things like that. Sidewalk chalk hasn't even, I've done a little bit of that. It hasn't destroyed them. I've just been taking care of my nails. And in winter, that's good for me because the dryness really bugs me. So they look beautiful and they'll be fancy for my show tonight. But tomorrow I'm going and having this I can't take it. Untenable situation. Andrew, it was so fun to see you in your house.
Yeah, it's great having you over. You were some of the earliest visitors we've had.
I know. It's so agreeable and gray. But no, you know what? That's right. Really warmed my heart. I think I told you guys. It is so lovely, especially to see Mrs. Bridges, Miss Delaney. Just, there you are in your dream home, living your dream life. And the joy, and it gave me fullness of heart. As I left, I was just giddy.
Wow.
Too freaking far away, though. We're never doing a drop-in. And the next time we come down, we're going to have to spend the night in the extra room because can't drink anything and drive all the way back to civilization.
That's true. It is way the hell out there. And I feel that when people come over, I have to thank them 3 times for making the trip.
Yeah, you do. It's true. It really is far away. But it won't be forever. I mean, you've picked it's going to be, as you raise your family in that house, there's going to be stuff around it. I mean, it's going to be great. You get to be there for the fun of a developing community. You really get to be founding fathers of your community.
Right, we can put our stamp on it.
Yeah,
you can make it our own.
Yeah. But no, it's great, and you certainly have enough room for me to have my own room for a little while. You filling that house up with stuff?
Not really.
Really?
Since you were here, we haven't added anything big or anything major. We've made a couple grocery runs. We've been cooking a lot more, which is fun.
Oh, your kitchen's fantastic.
But like the things that we were missing before, we have ordered, like the dining room table, and they're not supposed to be here until later this month because of the global slowdown in production.
I can't take it. Also because of shipping. I mean, you and I had the experience with our Macintosh professionals getting lost in the mail. But right now, I had a delivery that said, and it came from a company that, you expect good delivery, whatever. Ordered online.
Name and shame?
I guess, but it also makes me, it betrays what a spoiled little bitch I am. I got a gift card for Lululemon for Christmas. And I mean, I don't know if we've discussed this in the past. They make really good, prosumer gear. I'm
wearing prosumer yoga pants right now.
Exactly.
Not like the stretchy tight ones, but the ones for men. They have ABC anti-ball crushing technology.
Yeah, they've got all the technology. I discovered years ago that my predilection for being friends with another woman is inversely proportional to how many Lululemon tags she's got on her person at any given time.
That's right. The more Lululemon, the more you hate her.
Kinda. It's a little lifestyle thing, but you got to admit they're pretty freaking awesome. And, a couple of pairs of lemmings leggings in my life. Lemmings, actually.
That's the exact relationship I have with Apple, where I really hate them, but I also love the stuff. So, okay. So I'm a spoiled little bitch. So I got a gift card. So I ordered 2. I mean, I did the research and I didn't want to go into the mall and try on clothes and all of that. So I said, I am going to do this online. Fantastic. Well, I got a notification the other day that my package was dropped off. When I came home, there was no package from that company here. So now it's under investigation, Andrew. And actually, I haven't done this yet. I'm pretty sure it wasn't delivered to my house because I get an alert when anybody rings the doorbell or comes, within right. You've got
reach
a
of my camera.
right there.
I actually have to go back and look at that because then I can prove to them. But that happened. That very same day, I got a delivery that did come on time, and included in this delivery is a personalized gift for you and your new home.
Ooh.
There's a flaw in it, so I have to deal with that and send it back.
That sucks.
And right now I have 2 pairs. I was so excited to come home and get my Lululemon leggings. I mean, I was fantasizing about throwing out my other trash leggings and I'm so excited about this. And now they're nowhere to be found. And, they're asking me, and it's all the robot chats and oh my God. And at one point it was like, hey, have you asked your neighbors or looked behind the planters in your, sometimes packages are put on the porch behind a thing. Not my responsibility. And yeah, I've looked behind the planters. Yeah, I did. And 2 other packages were delivered that day. As I say, one that included a gift for you, which I now have to deal with getting that remedied. And a comic friend of mine just bought a gun. And so he had the ammunition delivered to my front porch.
Does your comic friend not have an address?
He has an apartment, and he was worried that it would get stolen or that they might not deliver it to an apartment building and leave it. Mm-hmm. So he asked, can I please have my bullets or whatever? So now he can get all shooty. But that package was here. The other package was here. Nothing from Lululemon. And a little package that I mailed to somebody on the East Coast, well over a week ago, and paid the priority, what's it called? Priority
sure,
mail?
You paid extra. You wanted it to get there faster, and you wanted it to get there.
Hasn't shown up. So I know that this is not unique, and it's not even that interesting because half of the podcasts that I listen to, people are complaining about this, but it is stunning. It's stunning. I have grown to rely on things like, the mail, whatever. It's not interesting, but it has been part of my day, Andrew.
I know that feeling, and that sucks. It sucks that so much of your that you've got so much, you're dedicating so much mind to shipping because it's one of those things that should just work and you shouldn't have to think about it. So you should order stuff, it should show up, and then there's no more reason, there's no more cause to think about shipping.
Did you hear Merlin Mann detailing about how I think it was DoorDash and how or one of those services where he's going, it works so perfectly until it doesn't. And once it doesn't work is when you get into the folly of, the communication stuff where you're yelling at people on the phone like I was with John from Apple, going, yeah, I understand you're sorry. You can shove your sorries in a sack, mister. I don't know. Anyway, well, Happy New Year.
Same to you. You got any big plans for the new year? Any large resolutions?
No, I don't do that. I mean, I would love to get a job, as I have discussed. And the fact that comedy is open again makes me real happy. I did a Zoom show last Sunday night, and I actually got a clip of it, and it's good. I was proud of that set, and I'm excited for tonight. Tonight, I'm just performing, and then Wednesday night, my open mic will be back, and that's me, working hard for 3 hours, but it's fun. And then Friday night's my show at Ironton is coming back, where I am the producer and the booker, and those shows, and it's been great. Well, they've got it now it's in a tent outdoors, but these are not really outdoor tents because now we've lifted some of those restrictions, and they've got big giant heaters, so we no longer have to bring your own chairs and blankets and stuff. It should be perfectly comfortable no matter the weather.
That's great.
Yeah, because indoor dining is a little bit open again, as we have discussed.
I'm excited for that. I miss sitting down, having a restaurant, having someone bring my food for me. I'm not your slave, drizzle it on for me.
I know. We were doing lots of outdoor in the tents, but when they really did have to keep 2 openings open and all of this. And I just, because even with my family on the day, we remembered my father's death, your birthday, by the way, which I didn't remember. Those were the same date. We went out for lunch. Mom took us out for lunch, and we're sitting on metal chairs in this sort of open tent on a day that's 35 degrees, maybe. Ooh, I just got used to my feet being really cold all the time while I ate. And then downtown at Capitol Grill, we were having just we thought, we'll have a little afternoon snack sitting in one of these tents. And, you can't order anything without the food getting cold.
Right, right.
So it's just the things we would not have abided in the before times, sitting outdoors, freezing, watching my lobster biscuit cold. Yeah. Just to be out and doing something. I know it. So anyway, for my year, I just hope to be, gainfully employed again and someone else paying my benefits, and yay, comedy. That's fun. And as it opens up, if it does, who the hell knows? But it is sort of interesting to me to try to get some shows in other towns, places where I know people, and to book some, because small town comedy, as we have talked about, is where it's at. They love me. So, yay.
Yeah,
getting more
that's
shows.
Great.
Yeah, bring it.
For my 2021, I'm hoping for a less eventful year. I'm hoping not to get married. I'm hoping not to move.
Yeah.
It's 2020 was a surprisingly good year for Andrew, as things tend to. It just seems things happen that way, right? When everyone else is in misery, everything turns out okay for me.
Yeah, everything's coming up bridges, really, all the time.
That's right. Golden Boy.
Golden Boy. Golden Boy.
But
yeah, you had a big
exciting
year.
Next year.
Yeah, well, we'll see about that. When you want to make God laugh, tell God your plans, Andrew. I am hoping for a more exciting year when everything I believe in and know and need and have set myself up for doesn't just go away. That's what I'm hoping for. But hey, everything's fine. I'm in a
You say that, but I feel like 2020 was a big year for you. In the same way, I feel like you became a much bigger deal in this town. You stopped telling yourself that you weren't going to try to be a comic, and you became a comic. You got you ran at least one show. You had several other things. I feel like you gained a lot of momentum in 2020.
I did, and it was because when the ladder one has to climb just went away, burned to ashes, I got to jump over some non-existent rungs. That's a lame little metaphor I chose to go down there. But yeah, no, I did. I produced a lot of shows and I made money doing comedy, which that's right. I never thought I would do. And yes, I'm a very big deal in this town. Don't say
it's kind of, when you think about the mental anguish that went on this year and all of the craziness, both literal craziness and metaphorical craziness. I do think for both you and I, it was a pretty good year.
Yeah, ultimately it was for me. And yeah, we ended that year, the last few months of that year, with some pretty great stuff in my personal life. So yay for me. But yeah, that's why it's hard to, but that was on the heels of some abject depression that was starting to worry even me, But hey, you enjoyed some chimichurri made from the fruits of my garden way back in the times.
By the way.
Not good. I know. Flash froze the mint and the cilantro from my garden to make that for Christmas, which was great. So yeah, I think back of that year.
You got some cilantro. What else goes into a chimichurri?
Well, in my version, which I only barely follow a recipe, as you know, in there was some heat. I think there's some red pepper flakes, and I think a little pepper also from my garden, and garlic and oil and vinegar, salt and pepper.
That's a lot like Frank's Red Hot. I put that shit on everything.
Put that shit on everything. Oh, do you? Are you putting the chimichurri on everything?
Well, I did until it went away.
Went away. That's too bad. Yeah, I know. I do too. I put it on It's good. It's good with everything. But I just think about when I think of my 2020 year, it was brick by brick building that meditation pathway, which was then a bumper crop of a garden, the victory garden. And then, yeah, you're right. I mean, listen, we all shine on. That's how it always is, isn't it? Oh, and my book got shouted out by a cool podcast. So I haven't even looked really because I just don't look. They send me my checks for royalties when they send them. But I should also just see, because they plugged my website twice, I should go and look at my analytics because there had to be an increase.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see that.
Yeah, me too. But I haven't done that yet because, again, that sounds tedious and boring. But I've made more of those videos for that. It's called Laugh Gallery. And they've been buying those. They just bought one today. So that's cool. Yeah, there's good stuff on the horizon. No doubt about it. I tell you what.
No doubt about it.
Well, what else? What's happening? What do you want to talk about?
I don't know. I got homeownery things that I suppose we could talk about, but that doesn't excite me a whole lot. We got, I don't know, plans for 2021. We've kind of covered that, I suppose. I got nothing, Filholm. We should just wrap it up. Call it good.
I mean, we can. It's 20 minutes in. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah. Boy, that's fascinating content right there. We've been rewatching Seinfeld
Oh,
a
I
little
like
bit.
that.
Yeah,
You
that's
do
good.
have a little spike in your Beyond Mama Bear numbers, by the way. I'm looking at
Do I?
Squarespace right now.
Oh, God, that's funny. You can still look at that. Just a little spike?
So you had another big spike last year in April. I don't remember what was going on in April last year.
Of
But
2020?
I think so.
Huh.
Yeah.
That was literally when the world shut down. Oh, I wonder if that's when I was, yeah, it probably was I wonder if that's when I was posting some videos like my YouTube channel. I might have just, because I was doing some little stay
Yeah,
at
that could
home,
have
how
been
to
your
deal with the
videos.
pandemic videos for parents of teenagers. I've taken all of the dirty comedy off the internet again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of a funny thing you do where you
Sure is.
where you put it out there and then you take it back and you put it out there. It reminds me of this thing. I think it's from some kind of movie or a television show where you've got your skirt on and you show them a little leg and then you take it right back. I think that's a scene from a movie.
I mean, it could
Do you know-
be any. No, I don't know what you're talking about.
I'll see if I can find
Benny
something.
Hill show?
I don't know.
Yeah, no, it is like that. Well, and I put up the dirty stuff again, the blue stuff, because I was submitting to some comedy shows, virtually and in person. And so I want them to see that. But I could just make it private and give them the link on YouTube. But it's kind of funny. I've gone and taken it all down again. And then the other day, on a computer not mine, because obviously it knows me. Oh, that's the other thing. I'm waiting for another freaking package. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Back to this, though. Okay, I ordered new blinds for my bedroom, okay?
Ooh,
Blackout blinds.
I'm a blind hanging motherfucker. I can hang blinds
Are
like
you?
nobody's business.
You might. Can you come over? I don't want to do that. I know I can, but I'm also like, that feels like measuring. And, I have an old house, so it's probably not going to be perfectly level. I know I can do that, but it really sounds like a project I do not want to do. Anyway, those were supposed to come yesterday, and this morning I went, hey, those didn't come. So I went back to the email with the FedEx tracking number, and all day today, guess what function doesn't work on FedEx's website today? The ability to track your package. What is happening? Okay, so it's just a whole shipping. Ugh. Anyway, Joe went on his computer and looked me up to see what you could find that might be detrimental to me getting a big girl job. And then, of course, we had that discussion like, they're gonna find out that this is what I do. And any company, as long as I'm not wearing, company logo T-shirt and burning down the Capitol or whatever, surely they can handle it. And I'm, you know what? And really, when I worked at the university, one of my jobs as we vetted applicants for a variety of jobs was to go and check out their socials and to see what bullshit they might
out there.
Yeah. And, so, I mean, it's like, we've decided, you and I, within the past year and a half, that I'm going to wrap it all into the same brand and not lie about it. And actually, right now, I have my links for ticket sales, and I will continue to build it out with all of my shows, whether they're mine or I'm just featuring or whatever. On my Beyond Mama Bear site, I have a page now that just says comedy. Not all of it will be about teenagers. I'm going to try to work in a little bit of teenager material every set I do, because then I can sell books in the back of the room. But that makes the most sense to have one landing page for everything. Anyway, so we just talked about it, that I can integrate the fact that I am divorced and tell dirty jokes, and you made me clear it with my sons, and they're both okay with it. Did I tell you this, that George told me that several of his friends and teammates at college, and even like friends from high school, have said to him, hey, George, so your mom, or he tells them my mom does stand-up comedy, and they go and they look me up. George and Augie don't look at it. And they come
I would
and
not
they
advertise that.
I know, but get this. They come to him, and it's very funny to me, and it reminded me of you and Delaney. They come and they say, so George, you kids are grown. Your mom says that she has middle school sons. Who had the girlfriend who carried a skateboard around? And George is like, it's not true, you guys. And he just thinks it's really funny. And he told me that he explains it like, listen, she taught a lot of high school students, D. And George can handle this, but I just think it's funny that his friends are worried about the veracity of the comedy. And you and Delaney once said that too at the Clean Comedy Contest in 2019. That was your first note to me. It was like, well, you started by saying I have a son in middle school, and that's not true. So it kind of threw us. I'm like, oh my God, it's a little character I play. I say whatever is going to serve the set, you guys. But that's funny. But the good news is,
I think the experience of having someone do stand-up comedy, I think is different than, surprisingly different. There's a lot that comes along with that you don't get if you just go to see a stand-up comedy show presented by strangers.
oh,
Right?
sure, of course.
It's I'm sitting there thinking, oh my goodness, did that just really come out of her mouth? What must her sons think? What do I think? Oh Lord, like there's a whole nother layer of analysis going on there. So like when you do start your set that way with something I know to be untrue, that throws me off my game, and I have an even harder time separating.
I know.
Separating the Mrs. Filholm comedy from the Mrs. Filholm I know.
Sure.
Because it's just, you've got to put yourself in a different headspace.
I know. I just think it's funny that George's 21-year-old friends have come to him with that beef about my comedy. And it strikes me that that is all they have seen. Because like on my website, if you just Google my name and go to lisalanefilholm.com, you'll see only my clean stuff there. The mostly clean, the teenager stuff. And I'm like, well, George, this is a really good entry point for them because you've then explained to them it's not all true. It's a little character she plays on stage. Then if and when they find the blue material, they've already been prepped that maybe my mom is just saying things. Oh, can you imagine the experience of being someone who's dating me and going and hearing all of this stuff, whether it's about him or not? And sometimes it totally is. Oh,
you should put together a coloring book, a scrapbook, tips for being related to dating or whatever, a comic.
I just found a note in my notebook, my joke books, that said, it was like a joke I thought about telling, and maybe I told it at some point, I don't know, of like dating a guy who, like I caught him Googling how to love a comedian. Like, oh, that's the nicest thing.
At least they're trying.
Oh, boy. It takes a lot. It takes a lot. On last Monday, I told jokes. Okay, here's another funny thing about dating a comic. We're calling him his name. His name is Joe. And he loves comedy. He really does. And he's actually really helpful to me. He gives me good notes and has studied comedy for real. I have a lot of guys on Match would be like that. Like, oh, I love stand-up. I love loud, funny women. Oh, I love stand-up comedians. And I would be like, Eventually I realized that just means they have complicated relationships with their mothers. But he really does. He's a student of the game. So he's been coming around to open mics because that's what we've had mostly since I've met him. And then we had the second shutdown, whatever. So he's seen me in some shows and those are really fun. But he's come to a few open mics and all the guys like him because he's a good laugher and he's a great guy. So the comics all adore him and he can hang. But last Monday, one of my comic friends said, I wondered when Joe was going to break, because he was like, why do people come so unprepared? Why do people come so whatever? Why do they say the same material? Why is it so bad? And I was like, yeah, it's open mics. You can't judge me. I did brand new material that had never come out of my mouth before. And it's like, it's embarrassing. You never want somebody to judge you on an open mic. We're practicing, but we also want civilians there. So it's a funny little push me, pull you. But I think we've kind of decided that unless there's some extenuating circumstances, Joe doesn't have to come to open mics anymore.
That's funny. He graduated.
You did it with me. Yeah, it broke him.
It's a mood. It's like riding your skateboard and drinking ocean spray.
It's a mood. Mm-hmm. It is a mood. It is.
There's definitely. I can't say that open mic comedy is not fun, because every time I go, I always get a kick out of it. And sometimes the kick is not that it's the material is funny, but that the people trying out the material are funny.
It's Schadenfreude is what it is. You're laughing at our misery is what it is. I don't
know about that. Not necessarily your misery, but maybe your buffoonery and your I always think of Celery Bush, right? That for some reason that's the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life, and it's going to stick with me forever.
I know it.
But I do have some real-time follow-up on
okay, I always want to follow up on that. Let's put a button on that. You enjoy the subculture, and so do I, right? And I think that new to the scene, it's always kind of interesting to see these people and how I relate to them and how we do our work. But then at a certain point, night after night, that is not for the faint of heart. That's not for civilians. Okay, right, what's your real-time follow-up?
Give them a little leg and take it right back is a clip from the Cosby Show.
I'm sorry, what? Oh,
right.
Give him a little leg and take it right. It's a quotation, you say.
It's a quotation, and there's a bit, and I don't remember whose father he is, whether he's Cliff's father or you remember the wife's name in
Felicia Rashad.
Yeah,
Claire.
Claire.
Also, too soon. I don't think we're allowed to talk about Bill Cosby anymore.
I'm
kidding. I'm kidding.
I don't know. This is good for you to weigh in on, right? He's so old and senile, and is he still alive?
I don't know.
Like he's bad enough that's a real question that I do not know the answer to.
Okay, so one of the grandfathers on the show was counseling someone about that.
Yeah, it looks like they're sitting at a table. I haven't been able to watch this because I've been listening to you.
Oh,
but all the grandchildren are right there, and I kind of remember this from.
Is he doing an act out of that? Like a man is going, give him a little leg and pull it right back.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I'll put this YouTube clip in the show notes.
Send it. That sounds funny, and it also just sounds problematic because Bill Cosby and sexual anything. But
he's not even in this clip, so it's all
good.
I
mean, it's safe. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's all fine. Have you been watching or listening to anything new that's great?
I've been watching. I subscribe to BritBox, and I grew up watching all kinds of British comedies, and they were like growing up in the 90s and early 2000s. In order to grow up on British comedies, like you had to wait for the VHS, and then you get that and you watch it over and over. And my mother is a British comedy devotee.
And literature too. She brought you up with some lovely British classics.
Totally. And I watched these television shows over and over and over again growing up. And it's very, whatever 1970s British humor is what I was getting in the 90s and early 2000s. And it's all on this app called BritBox. So as soon as the Mandalorian played its last episode, I ditched Disney Plus. I got BritBox. And now I'm watching Are You Being Served, which is just the dumbest, most mindless. I mean, it's the 70s and 80s version of Parks and Rec, right? It's funny, it's suggestive in a way that you probably can't put on TV anymore. But
you can put so much more graphic shit on TV now, Isn't that funny? Yeah, that's good. That sounds delightful and pleasant. One thing I've been obsessing about is where can I go winter paddleboarding?
Ooh, you want to go winter paddleboarding?
Yeah, I do. Memory of a Goldfish. You have long ago said you were out for capers anymore because you're old and boring now.
Well, I know around this time you're usually trying to coerce me into going to Evergreen and jumping into a frozen lake, which is
true
not
story.
my jam.
I looked it up. Didn't happen this year. Looked it up. Tried to do it. Joe would do it with me, but there was no place to go. But yeah, winter paddleboarding. I was very dismayed to find that actually you can't take watercraft on any of the reservoirs that I would have done it in town. Like, it's actually not allowed from, like, October through March or whatever, blah, 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 whether it's frozen or not. The little pond in my neighborhood, maybe this week it's warming up enough, where I think would be perfect because it's just real quick put in. I just want to get on the water because it's funny. I'm not going to spend an hour,
You're going to fall in and get hypothermia, Mrs.
I'm
Filholm.
not going to fall in.
It's going to turn into a medical event.
I don't fall in.
And you have to. So we started this show when I was 25 and you were 50, and eventually you're going to have to come to terms with the Merlin Man philosophy. You need to look at everything you're doing right now and think, would I be comfortable writing this on an emergency room form?
Yeah, I know. I understand that. I'm making a joke tonight, I think, about how much it sucks getting old. And the line is, I threw my back out playing solitaire, the card game, all by myself. So I know. Well, I would be proud at 52 years old to say that I was trying to winter paddleboard. I don't think I'm going to fall in. But that little pond near my home is frozen over, and that is not fun to take a paddleboard on. I thought you were going to say
unpatrolled, which is also true, and exactly where you're headed.
Yeah, and I've told you I have circumnavigated that body of water, and seen with my own eyeballs that it does not, there is nothing posted about you can't go on there.
You make it sound heroic, right? You sound like Magellan going around the world.
Yeah, right.
I've
I am
circumnavigated this small body of water.
I know.
Looking so hard. I've been seeking with my eyes and my telescoping, I don't know, whatever, my telescoping telescope, looking for signage, telling me I cannot go here. There is none.
There is none. I shall proceed. But it's frozen. So the other answer my best answer now, where I don't think it's forbidden, but and I haven't seen anyone do it in the winter, but if you did, you should have a wetsuit, is, Confluence Park down at the confluence of the creeks and the rivers downtown. But that's moving water. And I've never really done paddleboarding on the river. I'm not afraid of it. I don't think I'll fall, but I don't know. And I don't know what would happen. So however, I'm in civilization. So there's no emergency. If I fall in and get cold, I'm 5 minutes away from warmth. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of thinking about that, Andrew. I mean, a lot of thinking about that.
I don't know. I mean, growing up in Colorado, we don't have a file card on wetsuits here. But I feel like in temperatures this cold, like in the 30s and 40s, you probably need a dry suit.
Yeah, you're probably right. I don't know. I don't even wear shoes when I paddleboard. And that doesn't
You must not do a lot of paddleboarding in January.
I don't. I've never done it. Doesn't it seem fun? Listen, this is the time of year where I want to get into water because I have it for a while. We're going to make it happen. Hot springs are a better option.
That is a much better option. You should go up to Glenwood. You should take your paddleboard. There's probably very few people there. And you could float your watercraft just out in the middle of the big pool.
Yeah, I suppose.
That might be fun. It might be fun to go up to Glenwood Springs right now.
We're going to go to Breckenridge next week. Looking for a hot
like
tub. Even a hot tub would be good.
You need a smaller paddleboard.
I mean, a bath. I just want to get into water. Getting on top of the water on a paddleboard is a completely different caper. I just think it would be funny. I think the pictures would be funny. And I think the experience would be funny.
It's almost as if you were one of my peers, but 10 years ago, where, Instagram, social media is new and exciting. We do everything for the lols, right? We want to go and lay across the 2 escalator things and spin around because of the lols.
Sure.
We want to paddleboard on the hot tub because of the lols.
Picture it didn't happen.
That's right. That's right.
I know. It's not really it's not really for the pictures. It's for the experience. But the pictures will be freaking hilarious. And yeah, I would post them on my social media. I am a basic 14-year-old bitch is what I am. I don't care.
Make sure you
just as long as people buy my book. Right? And my Lululemon package if it ever gets here.
It's a nice full circle, Mrs. Filholm.
Thanks, man. It's called a callback. We're bringing it. We're bookending the show. And all right, we'll talk next time.
Sounds good. Catch you later,
Great.
Mrs. Filholm.
Okay. Bye, Andrew.
Bye.